Hello and welcome to my YCS deck review thing where I look at the YCS deck thing. Hi.
He's going to talk about a really heads-up list, but he's really bad at introing videos.
I'm terrible, but we'll get into it.
Right, this is going to blow your mind.
So, the title may say Kashtira, but it's... well, we'll see.
Oh no, it'll say what it is.
Alright, so... as you can see, there may have been a mistake here, and I might have copy and paste two decks into one. Honestly, just playing this deck alone was worth it at that one moment where I got flash fired by a Runic player, and that was the top of the deck, and he literally had to double take that card. So, what are you doing? I've just literally seen you activate Theosis. That card does not go in Kashtira. It's like,
yeah.
I know. Right, so we'll kick it off and I'll explain what's going on. So, I'm obsessed with Dinosaur. I don't think anybody knew this. So, I play one UCT because it's the best boss monster and it should be played in everything, even if you don't have dinosaur monsters in grave. You know, just turbo it out with this card, you know.
I think you still need a dino for that, buddy.
Yeah. The one Pankratops, the main reason I thought Dinosaur would be a cool concept in the first place is because Oviraptor's a one-card Pankratops, and instead of playing the pure version where I have to worry about playing the Scareclaw, the Terraforming Kashtira, and use all this setup, I thought it'd just be cooler just to have the extender and also happily make Dolka on the way before you actually, you know, play this. Also, if you run out of sevens, you can let's just extend more, which is great. So I'll probably do the Dino stuff first because, you know, start with these two. Mace, you got to play it at 1. Sadly, it's at 1. It's not unfair at all. It should be at 3. And then paired with this card, you literally normal summon this after you've special summoned this. You won't even search off of this until you've made Dolka. So the idea is you kind of force your opponent into a terrible situation when they're forced to ash this, and then face this thing in the face, which is a very fair card still. So then we have one Petite. The only reason I played this and not Baby was because this is the only thing that can summon this from the deck if I genuinely needed to just turbo that out instead of worrying with this. So sometimes I can genuinely summon this off of this and still get my cake and eat it and summon this on top of this alongside the entire lock. Archosaur, it's at 1. Like, honestly, most part it's not important. You're genuinely just using this as one card engine paired with digs, so it's very minimal. And I didn't even play Lost World because in a deck where you're playing Birth and Bang, where you don't want them in hand, you genuinely need to cut down on the bricks. So Lost World just ended up being a cut in this. But it works, trust me, it really does. Double Evolution Pill, it's such a fair card. It summons these out, ignoring the summoning conditions. Although this doesn't have any. And then 3 Pill, Dig, because, you know, 37 card decks, again, are fair. So that's it for the dinosaurs. We'll get into the Kashtira. So Unicorn's a 1-card combo. Again, the board doesn't seem to be doing much. Like, it just seems a very fair, nice little strategy to pair with the dinosaurs. So you're just staring down a Macaron, legs, a Dolka, half your deck missing, and then maybe 5 zones are locked out. It's easily playable, like when you're facing it. The Fenrirs, they just searched this guy, which is just a one-of. Like, it was nice when you opened the one-ofs. Which I'm probably going to have to explain because about 1 million Kashtira players have started yelling at me already. I can feel it. Yeah, you play this at 1 and this at 1. If you're going to play multiple contrasting engines, you kind of need to streamline this. And I did a ton of testing. Opening this in an all dino hand is the worst feeling in the world. Opening this in an all dino hand is hilarious because you can normal summon this. And then opening this in an all dino hand, well, you don't have to worry because you're actually playing both decks. So that's full combo, which gives you the Unicorn. So yeah, Theosis just summons another one of these out. If you genuinely opened Fenrir in your hand with Unicorn, you could search Birth instead of having to worry about this getting ashed. So usually, a decent player who's knowledgeable about the Kashtira counter would wait for the Theosis to ash. Instead, if I had this and this, or access to either, I'd literally just search Birth, and now they can't ash anything. So, then the hand traps. 3 ash, really good hand trap this format. It was really good. Barely saw it at all, but still. A load of people told me not to main Belle. Those people were wrong, and it came up so much. Like,
he's normally so mild-mannered.
Belling Fountain for 3 was just like, yeah, this is why I play this card. Like, just seeing awful interactions like that, where a ton of cards are generating that amount of advantage. Alomera's come up, Chatrix player. He was about to reborn a card. I literally had no other use for this. Just Belle. That was turnover.
Also the big one, Expulsion.
Oh yeah, Expulsion. I was basically putting this in here for Expulsion and branded in red. Runic Fountain was the other concern, and Blessing, Naturia Blessing. Sadly didn't come up because I asked I belled the Fountain for 3 instead of the Blessing, but he had 1 in hand, and the chance of him having in it, well, it just said might as well bell the draw 3 because, you know. Mourner because, yeah, it's okay. I don't think I'll be playing this next format, but it's just a decent Baylor card, and it will just keep coming back. Prosperity because, again, playing 34 card decks is fair, and, you know, having a look at your next hand and, you know, getting the missing piece, especially the amount of times I ripped Misk and this off the top paired with the full Kashtira combo, quite fun. And then the Terraforming, which turns it into a 33 card deck. I weren't ever going to drop the talents. I kind of wanted to play 3, but I'm an even numbers guy because my brain wouldn't let me do 41. So I had to stick with 2, and I thought with the amount of draw power and thinning, it didn't matter. Probably play it at 3 though. And then 3 Imperm because it's really good at interrupting. If you're staring down the Baron, you've got to forcefully use it against that. And then this card, which is the best worst card ever printed. It's better anywhere but hand, like worse than Garnet. But at least it unequips Kashtira monsters. So even if you get a suboptimal Kashtira board, this can allow you to have the Shangri-Ira, the Macro on legs, plus the Unicorn and Fenrir, so you end up having a few interactions even if your board's suboptimal. The extra deck, this I found hilarious as well. Turns out you can normal summon these, and because these are level 7s, apparently that makes 10, so 3 negate. And then if you had this, or even access to this, you just start the combo again and go, oh, I'll just summon these along with it as well. Really good card. Zeus crashing into things with XYZ's never been more satisfying. Even if you hit into something lower, like if you just are willing to take a big amount of damage to the face with this can protect itself. So then you can slap this on top of anything else, or you could literally just hard make an XC that wasn't the one you slammed into something big, and then just slap this on top of that XC, because this apparently is another fair card. 2 Arise-Heart, it's a macro on legs, it's a quick effect target and banish face down, which triggers the Mind Hacker. Again, there's no big deal to it, and then anytime a card's banished, because, you know, that's part of its effect, it gets to attach a material to fuel its other banish effect. Again, there is nothing unfair going on with this card. Mind Hacker, I think ripping your opponent's deck for 10, I mean, it's just a sophisticated Desires where they don't get to draw. I mean, come on, like, if they're going to play Desires, like, surely they won't miss out on, you know, 10 cards of the deck, you know, it's all right, it's fair. Big Eye, because stealing monsters permanently is, well, to be honest, apparently people decided that this was probably the most fair card in this entire deck. So, yeah, I remember people second taking this and going, oh wait, this card's permanent. It's like, yes, are you sure that's not a typo? I'm sure that the 1 million copies of this they printed is not a typo.
That really caught me out a few times, didn't it?
Oh yeah, like permanent is a strong word that isn't listed on this card's text, but is implied. Shangri-Ira, because, you know, locking zones out, well, to be honest, that's just not on Like, forcing your opponent not to play the game, at least this card leaves your opponent into a false sense of security. At least I can activate my cards, and it's like, they do get banished, whereas this card just says, no, that zone's occupied. What about this one? No, that zone's occupied. What about this one? Just give up. Go to game 2. And then it just summons Kashtira's from the deck for free. Laggia's a judgment on legs. It's a good job it says dinosaur monsters in its requirements, otherwise this card would have been long banned. Same with Dolka, because that's a double strike on legs. Again, it's a good job it's dinosaur only, because again, they would have just been insta-banned. Underworld Goddess probably saved my backside about twice in the entire event, which is more to say than most cards in a YCS. Like, very rarely do your techs come up, but this came up twice, which was insane, and just out in towers because you can link it away. Pretty good mechanic. So I had to play this. I was mainly playing Phoenix because, one, it's an MST that I had access to without having to side in back row removal, and two, it's a generic monster for Ibley. So all I had to do was normal summon a card, link them off into Phoenix, and completely defuse my Kashtira combo, because how dare they Ibley me? And then Secure Gardener and Link Karibo, probably the worst decisions that I could make, but they were kind of necessary because, you know, getting an on-dino engrave for this is pretty lame when you want to keep these in hand. So, kind of mandatory in any dinosaur deck, really. Side deck, I regret massively playing this card. I probably should have stuck with my initial decisions of Book of Eclipses, which I think, or Nibiru's, I can't remember which one it was. But having a searchable kaiju in general is just really good. There's nothing wrong with playing this. I just personally wish I disregarded its existence that day. Div Incarnate. I never got to use this card. I drew it many times, never got to use it, and I still am under the impression that this is the best side deck card I own. It's great. The effect's great, and it just never came up. Shame, but this is staying in my deck for a while now. Harpy's Feather Duster, I mean, bye-bye to back row. I mean, who said, yeah, we know the Duster was there. Who said that, like, getting rid of the back row was okay, but then Judgment got released to 3, so screw them. And then Double Lightning Storm, same job. Kind of sucks when you've got this face up in the field, and this face up on the field, and literally any card face up on the field. Like, they really made this fair. Oh wait, let's go second card, isn't it? Right. 3 Frost, because that just allowed me to literally play one of each spell other than Prosperity, because that would have been a stupid idea. The idea being that if your opponent literally has anything on the board, you kind of go, okay, I'm just going to grab any card I want. I hope you're okay with that, because if you're not, it's tough. I'm still going to grab the Evenly Matched, or the card that draws me cards, or the full combo. So yeah, this card's stupidly good. It's not mandatory at all. It is mostly just flex spot, if that. Like, it just allows you to play more side deck cards, in essence, because it searches every one, other than monsters. Cosmics, really good in general. Like, ever since 2019, this was in my side deck at 2, and it has never changed, because just being able to spot removal floodgates is pretty good. This is probably the most fair card in the entire deck, outside of Big Bang, because it's brick. And then Evenly Matched. I genuinely think this card should be insta-banned, because I lost to it 3 times over the entire event. So that's side events, main events. Nibiru, I lost to Nibiru 5 or 6 times. Both Evenly Matched and Nibiru should see ban list hits. They are ridiculous. I don't, like, unless only I'm allowed to play Evenly Matched at 3, then I don't see the point in anybody else being able to.
I would be nodding, but you can make Laggia.
I mean, I can make Laggia, and sometimes I did make Laggia, but other times they asked the important bit, and they also had the Evenly. And they were also main decking Evenly. Some of them.
I mean, that's against the law.
Main decking, this card should have a clause on it the same. This card can only be side decked in a main tournament. But again, like, unless I'm the only one in the world who's allowed to play this card at 3, I think it should be banned. So there's that.
This ended up way memeier than I thought. So, I guess I just have one question. Who inspired you to make this abomination?
Right, so I was having a dream, and this mystical ginger-bearded
What actually happened?
This mystical ginger-bearded fella suggested, hey, this card looks really cool, and it keeps attaching cards from Banish, so can you imagine just recycling your misc? And I go, that's stupid, because it literally says any card detached from it, or any card sent to the graveyard instead, needs to be banished. And then about 4 months down the line, where after I disregarded everything that came out of this mystical ginger-bearded man's face, I just started playing it like a hypocrite, as I usually am. And it just seemed to work, and I kind of just hopefully thought he'd forget, and he didn't, and that's why he's bringing it up now. So the matches I lost to, game 1, 2-0 Tritron, not much of a problem. Game 2 got 2-1 by Mathmech. That was a rough game because he made double ablation once in his turn and once in mine. Wasn't expecting a double hand rip. And it was a waste of a ablation because I had nothing on field for the first one and I was salty. Third, Trap Tricks. Forcing this deck to go second is not a good idea. And then forcing it to go first as well, that's not really a good idea either. It's just a good deck.
This deck is just a bad idea.
Yeah, thanks.
We've established it was
the fourth match did me in a bit because it was Runic Naturia, and just I had my entire deck banished, but again, everything was made worth it when he literally just banished the top 4 cards of my deck. Noticed I was playing Kashtira for the first 2 games, and the only time Dino showed up in game 3, he takes one look at UCT and banished and goes, oh, that's a card. Why is that in the banished? Why are you playing? What's going on here? Proceeds to banish more cards, and it becomes clear what I'm doing, and he literally doesn't seem impressed. Well, yeah, I got tons of compliments.
It works, and I'm glad I came up with it.
You heard it.
You heard it here first.
So, that has been my YCS deck. And how awesome it is, and how awesome my deck building is, and
jokes aside, like this turned way memeier than I thought. I thought this was really heads up and really cool, and every time he tried to test with me using it, I told him to get it out of my face because I was never going to have to deal with it at the YCS.
Like, I only saw concept Dino decks with an occasional Unicorn or Birth in it because they like to summon the Pankratops, so I haven't seen any decks like this. So I'm glad I was able to debut this concept. Like, not saying that I was the first to ever come up with this. I'm definitely not. Like, there'll be someone who's made something wackier or similar. That's fair. But debuting this concept for me and not being able to find anything that directly inspired it, then I was happy to do that for a change. So.
Yeah, so we had to sit on this for a long time as well because, like, literally we had playmats that had our QR code to our channel, so we were like, we can't do these profiles till after because nope.
No.
They're real, like, mostly for you because yours was that out there and out of left field.
It just takes one arsehole to stand on top of a table and go, this Muppet's playing this.
I mean, no one's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do that.
Anyway.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to answer the comments. Tell me what you think. Hit the notification bell. Tell your friends.
What you think.
Tell him tell me what I think. Not him, because he didn't know anything about it. He only came up with a portion of the concept. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye. What do you want to say?
Namaste, fuckers.
In a bit.
I'll feature next time.